Viewers, welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. So my little Mac Tools 135 welder has bit the dust and it's time to get a different one. Sent it out to get it repaired because it has been throwing fits lately and is, well, through its last fit. They told me the cost of repairing it for the parts that it needs are just about the cost of the welder when it was new, essentially. So I decided to kind of move on, not repair that welder, even though I really liked it. It was a great size. It worked well for what we do here. Just a disclaimer, this is not a professional welding video. I am not a professional welder. I never claim to be a professional welder, and you will get no professional instructions here. Mostly stuff that's solely my opinion. I'm not paid by, hired by Miller, not a sponsor. It's just what I chose. That's the brand welder I have, and I've got another one, and I'm used to them, and they work well, and they've served me good in the years past. So now that that's out of the way, I picked up the Millermatic 211 welder. It's a 110, 220 volt welder. We can weld from 28 gauge all the way up to 3/8, so it'll be, you know, extremely versatile for me here in the shop for the little bit of welding that we do. It's already out of the box. I was going to do an unboxing video, but unboxing videos are kind of stupid in my opinion. If you want to see the box, I still have it. The welder was in it. I removed it and put it on a cart, and that was pretty much it. It also came in this box with a camouflage helmet, auto darkening. Pretty sweet. I don't know if that was part of the deal or if my vendor had just thrown that in there out of the goodness of their heart. But we have one of those too. So now let's get to the good stuff. And the good stuff being the actual welder. So we'll give her the little walk around. That's the place I bought it from. Local supplier. They supply our gas for our cutting torch, which you all know so well, and the gas for the welder and whatnot. Of course, I already had the cart because that's where the little Mac Tools welder was. We've got the clown hat down there in my old cart. So we'll just kind of have a little gander around it. I have not used it yet, so this is all new to me. Now I see it's got a few, or actually one other setting or a couple other options my old one didn't have. Of course, we have our voltage settings over here and suggestive sizes of material for its auto set feature, which I don't know if we'll use, but you can see it goes from 24 gauge, I may have misspoke, up to 3/8 of an inch. Now I think on the 110 setting, and I have to double check the book, 110 volts or 120 volts, I believe you're only supposed to weld up to 3/16, and then running on 220, you have the full scale, the spectrum up to 3/8 of an inch. So that is an option. We have our, our adjustable wire speed over here, and I believe that's in what, inches per minute or something or other. How fast the wire comes out of the gun. Okay, and then it has an auto set feature where you just simply select your wire size. So like we run 030, and so it has 024, 030, 035, and then evidently it can adjust wire speed by itself. So I don't know if I use that feature, don't know how good it works. We can fiddle with it a little bit. And then we have a selector up here for flex core, MIG stainless, MIG steel C25, C100, and MIG aluminum. We use a 25% CO2 mix, so we'll be setting it on MIG steel C25 because that's what we have it set up for, and I do run 030 wire. Let's see what else is on the front. I guess that's about it. It just has your regular, grounding work clamp. Looks pretty heavy duty, sprung pretty hard. And then we've got the actual gun itself. In case you want to see, I don't know what to show. This is not really a tool review, just kind of showing you what things look like. Now, it has been used. The vendor that I bought it from, Han, every welder they sell, they are a certified Miller warranty center, so I believe they test all their equipment before they're sold. Now the plug on it, it did come with a new regulator too. The plug on it is kind of unique in the sense that you can see this set up for 110 volt right now. You can unscrew it and put a 220 volt, I think it's a 30 amp plug on there. It's all in the book, just read the book. And then over here, it's just like our other one, the side pops open and boom, got a big chart up in there. So if you're using it for flux core, you have to, reverse the polarity on it, making the ground clamp the positive side, I believe. It gives you I think, some of the stuff that's probably in the book, and some suggestions based on your wire, your polarity, what gas mix you're using, what size thickness steel you're using. So if you're in the, let's say for example, the 120 volt, you can weld 24 gauge 3/16. And let's say for example, like, so we're using C25, so 75% argon, 25% CO2, that's our shielding gas. We're using O30 wire. And let's say for example, we're gonna weld some 16 gauge. So our suggested setting on the front would be 5 and 45. So we'd come around to the front, we'd set it, our volt on 5, set our wire speed on 45, and that's gonna be a good starting point for us. And that's pretty handy if you're unfamiliar with your welder. You know, where do I begin? Oh, yep, and there's our 220 plug that lives right in there. It's just Velcroed in there, so we don't lose that. What else? Oh, well, I guess down here on the drive roll side of it, we've got 3 different settings on the actual drive wheel. So you've got O24, O30, and O35, and then you've got the O35, the knurled section there, and that's going to be for your flux core wire. And then you have your regular, tension settings on your drive wheel here. And right now it's set on number 2, and then you can adjust that as needed. Tension adjustment on your spool, and you can run, I think, the 6-pound spools, the smaller ones, and what are these, 10 pounders, I don't know, 12 pounders, the larger ones, whatever they are. And I think that's about it. I just kind of want to play with it, to be honest with you. Read the directions if we need to. So we're going to be using it on the 120 volt. And that's all good to go. Now it should be on an individually branched circuit. And I do remember reading in the book, it said it could be a 15 or a 20 amp individually branched circuit, on a breaker or fuse. So I know that circuit is because I put that one in back when I moved in here. The next thing we have to do is set up our regulator. So I'm going to flick the little guy on. Here we go. Oh, it's on. She's quiet. Making any noise? Evidently not. So right now, I like to run about 20, 25 CFH. Somewhere in that neighborhood, unless it's windy, but it's usually not too windy in the shop. I'm just going to pull the wire roll here. We're going to crank that up. We'll set her about 25. All right, beautiful. So that's good there. The only thing I think we have to set next is the tension here. Let me grab a block of wood. She quiets right down on this. And probably ought to get us a pair of cutters. Where are we at now? We got to set it up on the numero duo 2. And after you hold the trigger for about 3 seconds, it goes into a jog mode, right, where I believe it kills the power to the tip, and then, free spools it at a high rate of speed. Like if you're, if you have to put on, a new liner or, a new spool of wire. So we're going to crank our wire speed up here to about 70. We just want to make sure that it can push. We'll get a little curl going on, make sure it can push its own wire out. I'll put a little more tension on that. We're going to take her up to a level 3. All right, I think we're going to leave it about there. Leave that about 1/2 of an inch. Set there just a little extra, just because more is always better. I don't have much scrap metal around here. I did find a chunk of square tubing. I'm going to take and get a die grinder. We'll clean up some of the edges on this. We'll fart around with it, see how it welds. We'll see if we can just weld it back together. And that's about it. The majority of stuff I weld here is exhaust, or exhaust size, 18 gauge, stuff like that. Pretty light metal. So we'll see how it does on this, and hopefully this thing will serve us well for a long time. We'll just stick that on there. I didn't bevel them, anything fancy. You heard the disclaimer in the beginning. We're just gonna tack it on there. This stuff is about 1/8 of an inch thick. And then we'll just fry it on. I didn't clean it up perfect. Give it a little spot to hook my ground. I'm not using this to make judgments on the welder. I just want to hear it buzz. So we'll clamp this on here. We'll leave this up here so it doesn't all fall down. We'll give her a little tack. We'll fry it around, see what it looks like, see how it feels in the hand, and then we'll weld some more of these bits together. According to the chart, for welding 1/8 inch, it says use a voltage setting of 7 and a wire speed of 90, so that's pretty high up on its scale. So that's where we're going to start. I probably ought to get a welding helmet out. I use my old one, but I don't know how to work the new one yet. And I always leave this thing on. Hopefully the battery's not dead. Always leave it on. Okay, so let me turn it on, because that's the other thing I do is I forget to turn it on and you fry yourself. Cord over here, we're going to put a little tack in the corners. Alright. Yellow! Phone call. I did not even remotely stick that on there straight, but I've got a couple little tacks on there. So we're gonna try welding just in the crotch at first. We'll across one side. I'm kind of curious about the auto setting, how that works. All right, it's gonna be kind of a short weld, but this is all I have for scrap at the moment. It seemed to go, I don't know if that's focusing or not. Pretty short weld. Looks pretty good. I don't see a lot of excessive splatter. It doesn't look too undercut. Like I say, not a professional. Remember that. Now on this side, the opposite side, I want to try its auto setting just to see. So I'm just going to stick it down on 030. Fan's pretty loud. I'm going to leave that on number 7. That is our thickness for auto select. We'll see how that works, what it feels like. Seemed to feel about the same. Didn't really feel it making any sorts of adjustments. Hopefully that's focusing, I can't see. Welds appear to be about the same. That was using the preset wire speed setting. That was using the auto setting. I wonder how that works on material that's perhaps not so clean, maybe. I don't know. Let's get a little warm in the hand. I'm going to weld across the side here where it's not really beveled too much. It has a little bit of a bevel. We'll just come straight across that, and we'll also keep it on its auto setting, and then that's kind of interesting, new to me. start using something to pick this thing up with. Appears to do okay. That way you can make some judgments. We are in the judgment-free zone. I need to get my hands on some old exhaust pipe or something, get that cleaned up and see how it does on the lighter materials. But so far, that's pretty slick. Put her back on about 85. We'll weld her down. Say as a general rule, the stuff I'm welding is almost always not structural. I would say I'm thinking the heat might be up a little bit too high. Really dropped through, but not a real clearly defined bead. Of course, this is all 100% operator error. I am not afraid to admit that. We'll shiny up a couple of these pieces and lay a long bead down it and see what it looks like. Probably looks just like our short beads, only longer, would be my guess. Alright. Good enough. Let's stick these together. Now these are going to be kind of nice because the edges of the tubing are already beveled, so we got a little slot to go down, which will be handy. Stick them like that. Hopefully we get a ground through there. We'll just let the ground clamp hold it together. We're just fiddling. We'll give her a little tack on each end. Pull apart on us here. Alrighty. I'm going to put it back in its auto setting. 030. Leave our voltage up there on 7. Wish we had some lighter stuff. Not going to say that again. We will run the bead in this direction at about a 10-degree angle and half an inch away. Here we go. Shaky. I'll pick it up on the block wood. Seeing what that looks like on the end. Give you the end shot. Give you the top shot. It ain't perfect, but it seems to work well. I think this is going to suit our needs. Curious though, on the other side, should have cleaned that up like a ding dong, I didn't. it'll have to do. Like I said, I don't really see it undercutting or doing anything. It looks kind of weird. I would have thought the bead would have laid a little bit lower in that valley, but I don't really know. I'm not a professional weld analyzer. So we're gonna crank the voltage up just a little bit more, see what happens. I know what happens when you don't have it up high enough. So we're gonna bump our voltage up to about 7.5. We'll leave our wire speed, I'll pop her back here, to about 85. We'll go a little bit, stop, and then I'll give you an example of, if your voltage setting's too low, what that looks like. That sounds like our wire speed is too slow. I can hear it skipping. So I'm going to crank our voltage back. We're going to go back to like 5. Say our voltage setting's too low. You should see our weld start to kind of beat up on the top. Where we clearly don't have good penetration. You probably heard the welder skipping there a little bit. So that second bead there, that's with the voltage turned down too low. You just don't get good penetration, and the weld bead kind of lays right up on top of your base metal that you're welding. Put this back on. We'll crank it back up here. About 7.5. This sounds a little sticky. Got our voltage back to 7. Gonna take some fiddling, take some getting used to, I'm sure. I know sometimes the wire sound or the sound of the welder really messes with the camera. I've noticed that in the past. But I think this welder's gonna do well for us, for what we do here. Looking forward to it. Should be a good time. Better put a hat back on or start blinding people. So that's that, folks. That's the new welder. It's going to be the new shop welder, or one of the new shop welders. Stay. Just wanted to bring you guys along, show it to you as I was kind of farting around and discovering myself. Of course, I'll probably start to learn a little bit more about it as I use it more, as with any tool. So you use it, you start getting used to it, hey, when I'm welding, Walker exhausts that are made out of toilet paper, I use this setting and it, seems to work well. So, that's that. Let me know what you guys think of the new addition to the shop. You'll see it in videos. This way here, you don't have to ask a bunch of questions about it. Now you know what I know. Go down there and let me know some more in that comment box. While you're down there, subscribe, ring that bell. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.